My name is Mario, and this is my wife, Ashley Reese. We have been married for 13 years. We have a 7-year-old daughter named Hartley. And what originally brought us to the Bridge was a missionary family who attended the Bridge came over and asked us if we went to a church, which we said no.
We originally started going to the Bridge because we had reached a point where our marriage had completely failed. We had tried everything we could think of before except church. And so when we first started going, honestly, I was just going through the motions. I was consumed with the double life that I had been living and had pretty much already set in my mind that I was going to leave. I just wasn't sure when.
So the first time we attended the Bridge, after the sermon, they always usually end with, if you have something or you want to meet the pastor, come up here. And I was genuinely had a tug to my heart. Like, I've never done that before. It was very uncomfortable for me. But for some reason, I looked at my wife and said, I have to go talk to this pastor. We conversated for a little while, and then we ended up having lunch, and I kind of explained some of the stuff that our marriage was going through, and I had this false image that now that I'm going to church, all of our issues would be worked out. Within 2 weeks of that time, that's when the rug was pulled from underneath me. I was punched in the stomach. I was starting to learn things that was going on in my marriage that I was unaware of. I was told that there was an affair and that she was leaving. Feeling all these emotions, I didn't know what to do. I got in my truck and I drove. I ended up driving to the Bridge and sitting in the parking lot on a Monday night, angry, frustrated, confused, scared, uncertain, sad, hurt. Everything was coming out, and I was sitting there cussing God and hitting my steering wheel, pretty much yelling like I was doing everything that I was supposed to do, or at least that I thought I was supposed to be doing. All this was supposed to go away. And it wasn't until that time that I was put with a decision to go back to the godless life I was living because it was easier, it was more comfortable. Then I would essentially have the right to be mad at whoever I wanted, or continue to pursue down a road to follow Christ and actually have a relationship with Him.
I was going down a path that was ultimately destructive. The further I went down that path, the more the enemy took hold, and I started to believe the lies that I should be ashamed of what I did. I should not want to be happy. I don't deserve to be happy, and I deserve everything that's happening to me. I was reaching a very low point, and I remember going to a sermon one day at church about accountability. And at the end of that sermon, I felt so alone. I didn't have anybody to help me walk through the terrible times I was going through, and I didn't know what else to do. Thankfully, there was a lady who was sitting down the pew from me who had never met me before in her life, but she listened to the voice of God and came and randomly talked to me. And when she did, I broke down in front of a complete stranger and just spilled everything. She took me under her wing along with another lady in our church who have been going to the Bridge for a very long time. They spoke life into me. They taught me what my worth in Christ is, which I never knew before. And thanks to these complete strangers showing me the love of Christ, I was able to forgive myself for what I did, but then also build up the confidence to go and ask my husband just 2 weeks before we were supposed to finalize our divorce and ask him if he would be willing to try to work on our marriage.
And that's kind of what my wife and I have wanted to do. Was we don't want to live in shame of what we went through or the embarrassment. I tell people all the time that the most embarrassing part of this whole thing was I couldn't love my wife the way she wanted to. She had a reason to leave. Focusing our relationship on God at the center of our relationship, we were able to work closer together.
When we first started working on our marriage again, it was not easy by any means. There was a lot of things we had to work through, but us being able to realize that as individuals we were broken and the only one who can fix that is Christ really helped us, rearrange our priorities and look towards Him. Once we started seeking a relationship with Him, it was easier to work through the difficult things. It was easier to forgive not only ourselves, but each other.
And in result, I mean, with the support from our Bridge family and our immediate family, we were able to do away with the old way we were living, and we were both baptized and saved last year and be able to be reborn into this life where we do focus on Christ, where we do put Him at the center of our life. It's helped bring our marriage closer together as well as our family. We can't be more appreciative of everyone who has played a role in our lives.
God's moving even when we don't see it, and it's pretty fantastic.
So something we learned during this season in life was that you don't find peace in the absence of the storm, but you find peace in the presence of God.
Because He helps bring death to life.